At the National Library of Wales in Aberystwyth, a special event. An exhibition about Wales and the Battle of Britain.
So this is the story of Wales and the Battle of Britain. So it's a story that's never before been told to a modern Welsh audience. So it's just, I think lots of people know about the Battle of Britain, but what we wanted to do was to talk particularly about the Welsh contribution. So we've gone back into the RAF historical archives and found out about, all the pilots and the people that served and what they all did, and the RAF stations in Wales and what they did, and how Wales as a nation also contributed to the victory in 1940. And what we found was that of the 65 squadrons that fought in the Battle of Britain, 5 of them were led by Welshmen. So that's a really good proportion there, that we're working at a very senior level in the battle. And just one of the examples in the exhibition is Squadron Leader Ted Graham, who came from Ebbw Vale, and he was the officer commanding of 72 Squadron, and they fought in the Battle of Britain from RAF Biggin Hill, which is very much in the middle of the battle. So you can imagine him there as that squadron commander, really busy, constantly flying, the aircraft constantly in the air attack. It must have been a really difficult leadership challenge for him. And he lost 8 of his 24 pilots were killed in the Battle of Britain. So these are just important things he had to deal with. And there's lots of stories about Ted Graham leading his squadron out of Biggin Hill, 7 or 8 Spitfires flying against over 100 aeroplanes.
A Welsh airfield played a special role in preparing Britain's Spitfire force.
A really special connection is all the Spitfire pilots in 1940 were trained at RAF Hardin in Flintshire. So, so when you talk about how did Wales contribute to the Battle of Britain, we trained pretty much all the Spitfire pilots that flew. And in that time, clearly with the war and the pressure of the Battle of Britain, what should have been a 5-month conversion course onto Spitfires became in some instances down to just 3 weeks because of the pressure to get the pilots into the front line. But Hardin was really, really important in the story of the Battle of Britain. We've also got some features about what were called the air aces. So people that had shot down 5 or more German aircraft during the Battle of Britain. So there's the stories of those here. And just one example, if I may, Sergeant Glyn Griffiths went to Ysgol John Bright in Llandudno, was a gas engineer before the war, and he then served in the Battle of France, where he shot down 2 German aircraft, and then in the Battle of Britain, he contributed to the destruction of a further 10 enemy aircraft. There's an appropriate example of someone from a very ordinary Welsh background who made an extraordinary contribution at a really critical time in our nation's history.
The Aberystwyth event featured 2 guests of honour who served in World War II. D-Day veteran Ted Owen's wife, Lorraine, from Pembroke Dock, served in the RAF. She was a plotter, tracking enemy aircraft on a map on a table.
She'd had this long pointer stick, and when it came over aircraft flying up the Thames or whatever, and how many, they'd move the marker with the numbers on it, and which way they were flying.
The Battle of Britain occurred when I was 16 years of age. I was at school at that time in Lampeter. I remember listening in avidly to the news. My most vivid memory was the fact that we claimed 185 aircraft down in one day, which was a record, and everyone was immensely proud. I don't honestly know whether that was borne out in fact, but 185 aircraft was a great feat. And I remember the boys cheering, and we were all very, very happy about it. The RAF was saving Britain from invasion, so we were very, very impressed by that.
Wales and its people did make a significant contribution, and all of that is covered in this exhibition for the first time.
The exhibition is on tour around Wales. And now,